We got to talk about Psychonauts 2 invincibility modes and whether or not reviewers should play games on easy when they're reviewing a game. Man! But Manny, let me set it up. Let me set it up.
Wait. Before anything, I have to say, you know what they need to do? They just need to double down. Just make it even more passive than ever before. A video game where you don't actually need to play it. It plays itself. It'll be a 10-hour long movie that you could binge. Oh, wait a minute, that's TV. Wait, let's split it into episodes. Wait, no, that's a TV series. So you'll
no. Let's add like minimal gameplay. Oh wait, that's Metal Gear Solid 4.
There's no easy mode in that game.
Let's just add it as a new difficulty and call it what it is: reviewer mode. So you have to scroll to the very top of the list and live with that fucking shame and like post that like
Well, I mean, it sort of gets tossed under the guise of accessibility.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Here's the thing. Accessibility.
Go ahead, Brett.
Accessibility is not conducive with fucking gaming, man, in any way, shape, or form. The idea of gaming is to get to a kind of solution. Like, you're always trying to do something. If you can't do that thing, then it doesn't get done. If you're playing ping pong, you have to be able to hit the ball with the paddle. That's not fucking gatekeeping. That's not accessibility. That's the game. If you're playing baseball, you need to be able to get to home plate. That's the game. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have people who have like who've gotten accidents or have disabilities or anything like that. I'm not saying we should gatekeep them out of games. Not at all. But the idea of a lot of these games is you're trying to beat this. It is a challenge. And the gameplay and how you defeat that challenge is a well-tuned machine. Specifically for games like Dark Souls, because I haven't talked about that enough lately. And this is a good game to bring up in this situation. Like it's the experience. It's the climbing that hill. I can't tell you how many people I've seen play the Souls games and get to the point where they're frustrated and push beyond it and then somehow beat the boss and they come fucking singing onto the air and the blades of sunlight. Like, you know what? I am now a converted man. It's the success stories, I guess, for lack of a better term, that you hear from that kind of game are fucking awesome. And yes, that game is not for everybody. That game is for people who really want to challenge themselves. Maybe it's not for people who don't want to challenge themselves. So maybe not necessarily giving them an easy, free cheat code or a way to be invincible. It's not the game. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like oh, I'm gonna read a mystery novel, and I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read the back few pages first to learn who did it, and then start at the front. Like that's fine, but don't go to fucking book club and talk about it because it didn't take the experience as it was meant to be. You can't tell people about the experience as it was meant to be, right? Like, and just think about it. If any of you were writing, you wouldn't want to be reading your shit out of order, or if you did, you wouldn't then want them remarking to the world how they feel about it. They didn't even do it the right way. They didn't even take, and that's fucking the thing that pisses me off. It spits in the face of the people who made these things. They want you to do them a certain way. They put in difficulty modes and balance them so that you have options and accessibilities, right? Like doing it in full power or God mode or reviewer mode or whatever the fuck you want to do it. Like that's not how these things are meant to be done. If they were meant to be done that way, the creators would have put them in there.
Well, to be fair, it is the creators. The creators are putting it in there.
I mean, here's the thing, like the Super Mario, one of the Mario games had an invincibility mode if you ended up dying a lot. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the new Super Mario Brothers, but it had like the gold cat suit that literally just you could literally run.
Super Mario 3D Land. Also, Donkey Kong. Believe it or not, Donkey Kong does it too.
I'm not saying that you can't have invincibility mode. That's not what I'm saying at all. Everybody should be able to enjoy their games however they want. But if you're going to come to discussion about the video game or the movie or the book, you should come discussing the experience as it was meant to be experienced, not how you disassembled it and reconstituted it and managed to find a way to have fun about it. Right? Like, yes, Morgan and I do all kinds of goofy shit. Like we played horse with a shovel, javelining a shovel at a guy's head from all different angles. But I'm not going to write a review about Half-Life and talk about how you can hit people in the head with shovels, and it's such a fucking great minigame. It's not part of the game.
But that's the thing, like, that's what I was talking about. Essentially, turning a very somewhat active experience into more of a passive experience. And
Yeah,
I feel
no,
like
it's hard to
I
agree
feel
with
like
you.
I feel like obviously, yes, if you want to play it, and you can play it any way you want. You see folks out there that literally pay for cheat codes for games and stuff like that. They're already sort of trying to do this sort of stuff. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it, but at the same time, it seems like it already sort of defeats the purpose of actually playing a game. If the game is just literally handing everything to you, where's the sense of accomplishment? Or do even people care about accomplishing anything anymore? That's the only obviously that as far as accessibility, you want to be able to make sure that everybody can at least play your game in some fashion. But at the same time, it's such a weird sort of thing. Like, it's like, then don't call it a game. Just call it a TV show. A 10-hour TV, a 10-hour Tim Schafer's animated movie, because at this point in time, that's what it feels like everything is sort of moving toward. And I understand people, they want to have everybody experience the game, but is essentially just running through a level, like really experiencing anything other than just the story aspects, then might as well just throw all the story aspects into a movie and just give that to people.
Manny, you know what this is?
What is it?
One thing you say kind of stuff resonate with me. Like, basically, people want to get these things, but they don't want to earn them or get them, right?
They want to. There's only one side of it that I feel like people want. When it comes to these sorts of things, they only really want one portion of it. Really, the gameplay aspect of it really is a second. To be honest, at least with this invincibility mode, is sort of second to whatever the actual main part. What maybe some people see as the main part, which is probably the story or the plot.
I feel like this is just the idea of give everybody a trophy, continued, and like that fucking never works.
It's so interesting, because it's like, like people were saying this about Cuphead before. They're like mad that the game was difficult because it prevented them from essentially finding out the plot of the game, or supposedly, or seeing the rest of the game. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, isn't that part of the gameplay loop? And wouldn't that also sort of kill that part of it, the sense of accomplishment? Then again, my thoughts on these things, or maybe a lot of our thoughts on these things, is maybe old and antiquated. Maybe people just want to just watch these games and not really, we live in a world where literally people will just go onto YouTube and watch people play games for them.
Yeah, man, that's okay. Like, I think what we're talking about is people who then go on and review them or talk about them, which to me seems like going to the book club after you decide to watch the movie. That's fine. You kind of got the same idea, but you didn't get the same experience, so you can't talk about the experience like you shared it.
The reviewer part of it, I feel like that's also a weird aspect to it too, because on the one end, you do want to give your readers a very accurate representation of what you've played. And to be honest, I would say Infinity Mode is not an accurate representation of the actual game. Is it?
I don't think so. Oh, by the way, that specific thing, it came up because I don't know what site he writes for, but one reviewer very boastful about it too, saying, yes, every game I review is played on easy mode. And a lot of people were very upset about it, including Colin Moriarty. He's my
best friend, Colin.
Well, Colin is the one that went out there and said, "Hey, I played it on everything on whatever normal mode, and I played the whole game through." And he was coming down on people, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, like. Again, also what's been said before, that to be a games journalist, you don't actually need to be very good at games.
We know that firsthand,
So I mean, to be honest, it's like, I mean, I guess it's such a weird way of reviewing a game, because it's not an accurate representation of what the actual game is, unless you're just talking about the story or the plot. know, but you can't really talk about the difficulty of the game because unless easy mode was difficult for you.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't we have those journalists because we have these discussions where we kind of all talk about this and be like, oh, well, you know, I guess we should kind of, you know, make a little bit of room. It's okay. Not everybody has to play these games in the same thing in time as us. And over a while, that just degrades it to games journalists not being good at games. And I'm kind of sorry, like that. A games journalist, in my opinion, should be somewhat good at games. They should at least be proficient. And that's, I think, something very telling when everybody's shocked to find out that games journalists aren't good at games. Even when you're a kid, you just kind of assume that's part of it. I have to be good at video games and I have to be good at writing. Those two things are what can help me become a games journalist. So now we get to the point where you don't even have to be good at games. Okay, so you're good at writing? That widens the pool quite a fucking bit. I guarantee you, if we said that we have to have, if games journalists had to be able to play video games and be proficient with them, we'd still have plenty of games journalists. You know what? Maybe not too many, but still plenty.
Yeah. I got to step in right now as the designated game journalist here. Yeah, my first EA event was very fucking eye-opening because I had always been under the assumption that if you're a game journalist, you got to be fucking elite. This is what I thought. So I go into my first match. It was Fuse, by the way. It's an Insomniac game that's actually not good, right? I go in there. It was 3 versus 3. I was on one team, another, and I'm thinking, oh man, I'm gonna look like I'm gonna be embarrassing my fucking team. These guys are gonna be better than me. This is gonna be bad. I'm gonna look terrible. My first game event, I'm gonna look like a fucking scrub. Yo, not only did I carry the whole team, but we murdered the other team. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Well, how am I better than these dudes who've been doing this forever, right? And then we go to subsequent events. Manny and Chris can vouch for this too. You see these guys playing demos. They can't finish the demo. And you don't know how many times I've heard this line when I finish demo. Wow, you actually finished it. And they would call up the PR guy, like, or the developer. He finished them. I'm like, why wouldn't I? It's a fucking demo. Like, why wouldn't I? You know, or when they go in there, I'm playing, like, I was playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like, oh, are you familiar with the franchise? I'm like, yeah, I've been playing Tomb Raider since 1995, and I beat the previous game of the reboot. He's like, oh, you beat him? I'm like, yeah, and I got the platinum. And they were surprised. But I'm like, why? It's a fucking game. Of course I'm going to play it, you know? So I've learned very quickly that. Here's the thing. I do want to dispel this thing. Most gaming journalists that I know are like me, right? They play games. They live and breathe this shit. But there are some really high up guys that are not very good at games. And obviously because all this stuff went down, people were asking me, Tony, do you play games on easy mode that you review? I don't play games on easy mode, period, at all. Like, unless it's for a trophy, right? I will, you know, where like you have to play it on easy or whatever. I will not play on easy mode. Even if it's a collectible, I'll still play it on normal. But conversely, I also don't play games on hard unless it's for a trophy. And this is my reasoning. I think it's pretty good reasoning. I play games on normal, not only because I just like to play them on normal. That is what most people are going to be playing these games on, right? So even if I'm playing a game and I feel it's too easy, I will not bump up the difficulty because I need to play it the way most people will play it. And I will say, hey, this thing's too easy, you know? But I will always play it on normal mode, so that's my thing. And I'm still, even days later, I'm still debating, like should I, like, judge these guys that play games on easy? Because if you're playing games easy on your own, I don't care. I literally don't care. If you're playing it on your own or whatever, I don't give a shit. But if you're reviewing them, you're kind of misrepresenting the game here. You know, just as if you're playing the game on hard and you're reviewing it, you're misrepresenting the game too. You know, so I can't jive with that. Like, oh, I review games on easy. I would not do that personally because I don't want to mislead people. You know, this is very different than like me playing 5 hours of a game and giving you a review. 5 hours of a game, any game is enough to tell you about that fucking game. But if I were to do that and play it on easy mode, I'm not giving you an accurate representation because the loop is very different, you know? So that's why I personally am against it. I just don't understand the boasting of, oh, yeah, I play games on easy and I'm proud of it. Like, really, bro? You're proud of that? Misrepresenting your readers? That's the way I see it. You know, I don't really see it so much like, oh, you can't play your games. That's maybe a part of it, but it's like, listen, even if I got 5 fucking games I got to review in a week, I'm not putting them on easy just to blast through them. That's not the way the game is meant to be, you know? So
Also,
yeah, go ahead. So it's kind of just interesting how again some of these guys are just boasting about it. Go ahead, Carlos.
I have a different kind of perspective, but obviously because I'm not a gaming journalist, the way I see it is if you're playing a game on easy, you know, and you're a gaming journalist and maybe you're somehow in any way physically or mentally impaired, then I can understand that.
Yeah.
But if you're a regular person and you're fine, you can play games on hard, easy mode. Like doing easy mode is kind of like, let me just put this on easy so I can be done with this game as quickly as possible. That's how I see it. Like when you have a job, like a lot of us are coders, a lot of us are artists, there's no easy mode on that.
Nope.
Like there's no mode where you can just put easy mode and it's like, oh, okay, let me just be done with my day as quickly as possible so I can, send up the reports or the status updates. That's the way I see it. If someone who plays games for a living and boasts about just going on easy mode as a default, for their job, it doesn't really speak well for you. I'm not.
I would disagree with you there. There is actually an easy mode for us coders. It's called Stack Overflow.
That's not easy mode. That's the Rosetta Stone, Brian. And no one's gonna get the joke because other than me, Chris, and Brian. But yeah, Stack Overflow is a godsend to coders. But it doesn't code for you. It just it directs you the right way. But yeah, I don't think that I don't know. It's just hard. Like obviously it's a preference. But if you're trying to portray a video game and review a video game to the masses, at least you should be transparent about it. Obviously the person that we're talking about is transparent about it, so I guess take this person's reviews with a grain of salt when you.
Well, are they transparent in the review itself, or are they just on Twitter?
On Twitter, I don't know if they actually, because I've never seen any site that discloses what difficulty they beat a game on. I've never seen that.
They should.
I think they should. I agree.
On anything other than normal.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I think that should be standard. I would gladly do it. Like I said, I play all my games on normal anyway. I would gladly put that shit up there. And as a matter of fact, I just realized if a game is too easy, then I could be like, hey, I play this shit on hard. So that actually would be pretty valuable. Because remember, hey, Mr. Adam, what's going on, brother? Hey, by the way, Adam, I got to get your take on this.
Go ahead, brother.
I
don't want to forget because it is related. Andrea Renee, I remember when she reviewed the latest God of War. She said she played it on that was it cinematic mode or story something, and she played it through, and she got a lot of heat for that. People were like, oh wow, that's like super easy. She was like, I just want to do the story. I want to get to the story. I know the game is good, but it's just a story. So some of those games, when they have that option, I mean, if they're maybe that's another way of seeing it, where people bitch about that if they find out that the reviewer did it in the story mode.
But Andrew Renee, is she a reviewer? She's an influencer.
She's just an influencer, yeah. So I don't think that counts. But Adam, what's your take? I don't know if you heard that whole conversation about there's this game, Psychonauts has an invincibility mode, and then there's a game review. I don't know what site he's from. He said that he's like, I play all the games I review on easy. You're the other reviewer here. What's your take on it? What difficulty do you play your game on, and what do you think of all that?
I play it on normal, just out of the box. There's no reason to switch it.
Yeah.
And the only time if I switch it is if, let's say, I just want to see something, but it's not so much of a review, but I just want to get like a certain view on something else. I don't know. It's weird. It's like, let's say it's a certain part that I just need to do an alternate route. Let's say if it was multiple paths, I did the normal path. Now I create another save file, and now I just want to do easy just to see what's behind that other door. Yeah. But that's not. But no, I usually leave it on just default. I mean, there's other stuff that I'll mess with, but yeah, usually leave it on default. Yeah,
I'm the same way because my reasoning is people don't really normally play on easy or hard. They play on normal. So I'm like, okay, let me play it the way everybody else plays it. And just me personally, I just like playing on normal. I said this on Twitter. I don't like easy mode because I don't want to rush through a game. And I don't like hard mode because I don't want to beat my head against the game. I want that perfect balance, Yeah,
and the problem with easy, and people are like, oh, well, why? Just go through easy. A lot of the bosses or certain characters won't do all their moves.
They won't, yeah.
A lot of their powers won't come out. So let's say if I say I played a game on easy and I got to a big boss battle, right? And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, man, he was a piece of cake. And then I see other reviews say, man, don't you remember when he teleported and he split into 3 people and all this shit happened and a cutscene came? I'm like, I didn't see any of that because they were like, oh, we're going to dumb it down. You want it easy? He's just going to do punch, punch, kick, kick. You're not going to see anything else. So, no, if you want to have that experience, you just leave it at normal. And if people bitch, like, oh, you got to play it on hard. It's like then the publishers would have made that the default.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
Yeah, so no, don't bitch about it. Just play it as the way it's intended. That's all.
Yeah, and I want to add this about hard mode. This is why I don't like playing hard mode, because most hard modes are fucking cheesy. It's just you're weaker, and the enemies are stronger. Now, if you were to tell me there's a hard mode where not only are the enemies stronger, but they do other moves, I'm playing that shit. I want to see what these moves are, but that you don't really get that most of the time. Very few games. I could only name 2 games off the top of my head. Infamous, the first game, and Vanquish. Those games are way better on hard because there's other things that happen in the game.
I hear Ghost of Tsushima is also pretty good on hard mode too.
Well, I haven't tried it, but yeah.
They don't necessarily get more powerful, but they get a little bit more, they get smarter.
That's good. See, if hard mode did that shit, better AI, I would be all for it. But there's very few games. It's just bullet sponges. I'm like, this isn't even fun. This is not a challenge. It's not like Demon's Souls where it's perfectly balanced. Again, this is why with those type of games, Soul games, I only really like From Software because they got that perfect balance. When I die, I'm like, oh, I fucked up. When I die in like Neo, I'm like, oh, this game's fucking cheesy. Because it's not balanced right.
I remember early on, especially with the Call of Duties, when they started adding a realism mode.
Yeah.
And then seeing some people, they'll do their reviews and stuff, and others in the comments, they're like, why don't you play it on realism? That's the way it's meant to be played. I'm like, oh, no, that's one shot, one kill. Yeah, that's realistic, but that's not the game. That's not fun if you're going to be doing all the cover. You want to still play it like a game. Yeah. Running, gun, shoot, pick up health and stuff. They're like, no, you got to be hard. You got to do realism. Why'd they put it in there? They put it in there for people that just want to go that route, but that's not the default route to play this game.
Yeah. No, you're right. I do that too. I don't even go to options. Hit start and let's go. That's it.
Just let's get this started.
That's it. Because that's how most people play the game.
Honestly, I think New Game Plus is the best way to do hard mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have new items.
Yeah.
You have new moves. You have New Game Plus.
Yeah, there you go.
That's more incentive to keep playing, right? That was the whole purpose of that, just to keep engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else?
Just like Tony said, oh, there's new moves. I want to find out these new moves.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to play that shit.
There's new weapons. Oh, dope. Is there a weapon I can only get in New Game Plus? Oh, dope. Yeah. Okay, let's go do that shit then.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Back in the day, games used to give you shit for being in on hard. They don't do that anymore.
You got a special outfit, get some kind of emblem or something to brag about. Like, look what I got. You don't got this, sucker.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. That's a good point because that points directly back into what we're fucking talking about.
Yeah.
Now, you can't gatekeep outfits and rewards away from people because then they won't get to see all the content. So you gotta fucking breadcrumb rewards just as you're doing main quests and things that you would always do. That bothers the fuck out of me, and that's this.
Yeah.
Or you pay $5 for it. That's all we've done. Is all this fucking complaining about. Oh man, well I want to be able to see all the content. And I don't want to have to do the fucking super difficult time trials to have to get the special suit because that's content, and I don't like being withheld from content. Great. You're the fucking reason we pay $5 an outfit.
There you go. Just go on YouTube. Watch somebody else unlock the shit, and there you go. Now you can see it.
By the way, real quick,
that's why we have Let's Plays.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
That's the only reason we have Let's Plays.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, by the way, a huge shout out to Eric Cuts for the win, who's rating us with 17 of her followers. So thank you, Erica. Appreciate that.
Oh snap!
Very cool. And everybody who's listening to us for the first time, welcome. We're talking about difficulty in games and whether or not reviewers should play on easy mode. I think the consensus here is no. And I'm saying this as a reviewer. No, come on, play it on normal. That's it. Play it on normal.
Also, I don't like how this conversation automatically leads to people wanting creators to make special invincibility modes or easy modes for games that don't have them, especially the Dark Souls franchise. It's like, these guys are creators. They're making an experience that they want to make. Do not try to force them to do what they don't want to do.
Yeah.
And it's like they're trying to even shame them. So I just don't like where this whole conversation leads to.
That's the problem. Yeah, I was asked that a bunch of times. Like, hey, do you want to see difficulty modes in Dark Souls? I'm like, no. Let them do what they're gonna do. If they don't want it, they don't want it. Simple as that.
like for
Same reasoning why these guys at Double Fine want to put in invincibility mode.
That's what they want to do.
Easy mode. That's what they want to do. But at the same time, it's like, don't pressure people into doing that, into it either.
Yeah, don't shame them. That's a bad thing, because now other developers are going to be like,
that's like going over to Steven Spielberg and saying, there shouldn't be any dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So I just reviewed the Streets of Rage DLC, Mr. X.
Ooh, I can't wait to play that shit.
And so besides the DLC, there's also a free update that they released with it, and one of the items included in that is Mania Plus difficulty. And that game already, when you get harder, it kicks your ass because of everything. So I could just imagine that. But there you go. Somebody must have wanted it for them to create it, and it's free and it's out there. It's optional. It should not be seen as a default. People can't say, well, that's what they wanted. Look, it's there. Yeah, but this is an extreme difficulty level. It's there. It's free. Do it if you want, but
yeah,
for sure. Hey, Chris, I want your take on this, man. Oh, we lost somebody.
We lost Brett.
No, we lost Brett. All right, what's your take on all this?
Oh, the easy mode?
Yeah, easy mode, Double Fine, all that other stuff.
No, I think reviewers should be experiencing the same thing that people are buying the game for. Like, From Software could easily do this, right? It could be like, hey, you'll never lose your souls when you die, or your blood echoes, and you can't get killed and whatever. You miss out on that experience. All that frustration, the changing your strategy, whatever, would be lost. There's things lost when you cheat, right? And this is essentially what this is, a cheat. God mode is like the ultimate cheat. You're just breeze through everying. And so you don't get the experience. Yeah, no, it's not fun at all. You drain the fun out of it. Think about like Doom Eternal, right? Yeah. If you play a PC, of course you can put in God mode, right? But you miss out on everything. If you're just walking through everything, you can shoot everything, you can't die. You miss out on, like, maybe you're not good at it, but you don't have to worry. You can get shot from every direction and just, shoot back, and you don't think about what you're doing.
You don't even strategize. There's no point.
Right.
There's no way of like, oh yeah, when you get to this one boss battle, if you hide up in a corner and you're not doing anything because you're just running in front of it and shooting it because you're invincible.
Right. Yeah. So how can you write an accurate depiction of an experience playing a game when you're not getting the true experience of it? You can't. I don't see how that's possible.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't get it, but I am worried about invincibility modes becoming a thing, or not really a thing. I'm worried that developers will feel pressured into it. They shouldn't be pressured into anything they don't want to do.
No.
Here's the thing. Like, I also feel like if you're gonna make a passive game, then make a passive game. Then why are you bothering putting all of this effort into making platforms and puzzles and and all of that stuff, and then you just have the all right, the win button.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do that, just play fucking what do they call the visual novels? Just play those, just click on everything, and you win.
Yeah.
Shit, don't even play. Just watch a whole playthrough on YouTube.
Some dudes do that.
That's it. It's like, why even bother wasting your money if this is what you consider enjoyment? Because there's no challenge.
Jagon was ahead of the curve, man.
That'll be more honest than you playing in invincibility mode. Yeah. At least you'll see somebody actually playing the game the way it was meant to be played.
That's right.
You playing this way is ridiculous, and it's frustrating. Like, do it the way the Japanese do it, right? You have to earn that shit. Like, yeah, you play the Resident Evil games, like you play like I go for the platinums, right? But after that, boy, it's all fun and games. It's just party. Like, oh, there's a big rocket launcher. I am now the man. I own this fucking map. Like, that's it. Like, but you earned that shit.
You earned it, exactly.
And they make you work for it. It's like beat it under 3 hours with 15 bullets. Okay, I'll take that challenge. And then you do it. You feel good about it. Like, I earned this shit. I earned this rocket launch. I'm gonna put everybody in the face. Like, but you this is not earned. And then you can't have an accurate experience in this mode. There's no way.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we'll see, man. Very interesting discussion there.